Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the Arsenal transfer roundup every Sunday. We'll be doing this one until the end of the transfer summer. We will be diving into all the deals that Arsenal have done throughout the week. Linked targets. Where are we on our top on our top targets and our priority targets as well. In this week, we're going to be diving into Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Jurrien Timber, and Romeo Lavia. They've been really grabbing the headlines. I don't see any other names around Arsenal. It looks like we have already locked onto who we want to sign on priority targets, and that is what Mikel Arteta and Edu are trying to accomplish. So if you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. It will be happening every Sunday. We will be reviewing what has happened through the week and probably previewing what will happen in the next week as well. Now, this one has been a very crazy week when it comes to Arsenal transfers. We've done a couple of, some steps in terms of getting our priority targets. You look at Kai Havertz, you look at Jurrien Timber, you look at Declan Rice as well. Arsenal have really been making some big moves on the market this week. We've signed Kai Havertz, we've bid for Declan Rice, and we have also bid for Jurrien Timber. It's not been a bad week as compared to clubs like Manchester United, Chelsea. Chelsea have signed a player, by the way. So as compared to the likes of through the rest of the Premier League, I think this week in terms of Arsenal has been very, very productive. Look, let's get into it. Now, deal number one has been Kai Havertz. Arsenal did agree a deal for Kai Havertz, £65 million with Chelsea. It will be paid across 3 years. The player will be among the most paid at Arsenal. It is a done deal. Medicals completed on Saturday and Sunday. It will be announced next week as an Arsenal player, and he will be putting on shirt number 29. So Mikel Arteta, according to Fabrizio Romano, has been on this one. He has wanted the player since a long time ago, and eventually he has his man. I think it's one where Arsenal have really shown a lot of seriousness in this transfer window, especially on this deal. Arsenal bid last week for Kai Havertz, 55 million. I think it was rejected. Arsenal went back this week with 60 million pounds. It was not rejected, but Chelsea countered it with a 65 million pound offer, which Arsenal agreed to. Now, this one is one that has really confused a lot of analysts and a lot of Arsenal fans. We have had debates, we have had talks about Kai Havertz, but look, in terms of getting the deal done, at least Edu has that one in the bag, okay? Kai Havertz, 24 years of age, is now an Arsenal player. Arsenal hope to announce him next week as we work on the other deal. So your thoughts, your opinions in the comment box below. Do you think Kai Havertz will be a success or not at Arsenal? Now, the next deal that has been really on fire in this week has been the Declan Rice deal. It's been very interesting. Actually, I think it's been the most interesting deal in the week. Manchester City did come into the bid as well, and Manchester United also did come into the deal as well. But this is what has happened this week in regards to Declan Rice. On Monday, Arsenal sent in a 90 million bid to sign Declan Rice to West Ham. The bid was rejected by West Ham, who wanted more money up front, and they also wanted Arsenal to pay up to £100 million. West Ham told Arsenal that they expect Manchester City to arrive later in the deal, which did happen. Manchester City did come into the deal, but they didn't formalize their interest. Manchester City have not bid for Declan Rice, despite the fact that all the reports are reporting that City are preparing a bid, and City, were on the verge of launching a 100 million bid for Declan Rice. As far as we understand, and as far as the deal is concerned at the moment, City have not bid and will not bid because the player prefers to join Arsenal rather than Manchester City. So it's been a frenzy week. It's been a very crazy week in terms of where he's gonna go, Declan Rice. A few sources, of course, telling you that he's going to end up at Arsenal because that is where his preference is. He loves to stay in London, and he's been really convinced by Mikel Arteta to join his project. A few sources telling you that he will be going to Manchester City, especially Di Marzio and Sky Sports, because City are champions, they're trebles, they're Pep Guardiola, and there's so many other players that many of his teammates with at England. So that is where we are when it comes to Declan Rice. The rivalry between Manchester City and Arsenal has been the pick of the week. It has been the headline grabber. Will Arsenal take him? Will Manchester City take him? But according to where we are at this point in time on Sunday, as I record this video, Arsenal are leading the race to sign Declan Rice. We are absolutely in front in terms of the deal. We are in front of Manchester City. One, we have bid 2 times. Manchester City have not even bid 1 single time. That we have agreed personal terms with the player. Manchester City have failed to get the player to agree to join them. And that is why at the moment they have actually not made their bid. So that is where we are on the Declan Rice deal. Where is he gonna go? I mean, it's still very open. It's still very, very open. Next week could be a very different one for Manchester United fans. This one has been a very bad one. But next week, you never know. Man United could come in, bid for Rice, sign him, and all of us will be left stranded. But anyway, at the moment, Declan Rice is still a priority for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has told Edu and all the transfer board that he's the player he wants and he would love to get it done. Now, in terms of this one happening next week, I'm going to be diving into the preview later on in the video, what I think will happen next week. But this one is one to keep your eyes on. It's one of the deals where almost everything is agreed. Personal terms are finalized with the player. There is an agreement between Arsenal and West Ham on the valuation, on the fee, what Arsenal will pay. It's going to be the structure. I mean, all sources are reporting that it is the structure that has seen the first bid being knocked back and the second bid being knocked back as well from Arsenal. Arsenal, West Ham feel much of the money should be paid in 2 installments. Arsenal feel that is unrealistic. We feel if anything is going to happen on this deal, if anything is going to be, it's going to be agreed between Arsenal and West Ham, they should reduce their ridiculous ambitions and demands on the deal. So I think West Ham will come down a little bit. We will see what happens next week. I think West Ham will come down a little bit, and Arsenal will come down a little bit as well. But the important thing to note here is that Arsenal have informed West Ham that they will be bidding a 3rd time. And that 3rd time is going to be the final time. That 3rd time is going to be the last one. So West Ham are still bracing their hands, bracing themselves for that bid, but they will know it is the last one. If they refuse it, if they turn it down, there is a big, there is a big possibility that Arsenal will not come back. Arsenal will bid again. West Ham are waiting. Now, the other deal, of course, that has been really, really hot this summer and this week has been around Jurrien Timber. Jurrien Timber is one of the players that Mikel Arteta really appreciates, and he would love to bring him at the Emirates Stadium this season. I think it's going to happen. I'm going to be running you through the details of what has actually happened this week. But this is a deal that is on the verge of getting done. So according to Sky Sports Germany and Fabrizio Romano, who have been very, very key in terms of reporting this one, Arsenal are on the verge of signing Jurrien Timber. So the story was broken, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, by David Ornstein, who actually reported that Arsenal had bid for Jurrien Timber. Personal terms were in place, and he also said that during that time, Arsenal and Ajax were locked in talks to find a solution on a potential fee. Now, I can tell you, according to Sky Sports Germany's key journalist, Pleti Goal, he calls himself Pleti Goal, but he's Florian Plettenberg. Now, he says Arsenal and Ajax do have a verbal agreement on what the price is going to be. It could be between 40 to 50 million euros. They will find a consensus between that region. Personal terms agreed. A 5-year deal agreed. He's going to earn up to 85,000 per week in guaranteed payments, and up to and that will be rising up to 100,000 per week, per week for the player. So with Jurrien Timber, it's a matter of sorting out a few details. It's a matter of sorting out a few things on the deal, and he will be an Arsenal player. Much of the work is done. Arsenal have really moved very, very quickly on this one. Since we bid the first time, 30 million at the beginning of this week. Arsenal have been very, very clear. They want him done, and they want him signed at Arsenal very, very quickly. So let's wait and see. Ajax have also been informed that Arsenal will go in with a second bid. At the moment, we don't have rivalry. Bayern not interested, at least not very, very serious. At the moment, Manchester United believe they have other targets in Axel Disasi and Kim Min-jae, and all the other top targets, all the other top European teams that are in the market don't look like they want Jurrien Timber. So Timber set to become the second signing of Arsenal unless something dramatic happens with the Declan Rice deal. It's one of these deals that Arsenal just have to make a bid that is respectable, a bid that is considerate of the feelings and ambitions and demands of Ajax, and it will be done. The deal will get over the line as well. So that is deal number 3. It's been trending throughout the social, media world. Now, deal number 4 is Romeo Lavia. It's been going on very, very, very slowly, but also surely. At least this week, we've had a couple of updates on the Romeo Lavia deal. First and foremost, Fabrizio Romano did confirm that Thomas Partey is going to be leaving Arsenal, which is another deal that has been really, really hotting up in this week. We're going to be talking about it after Romeo Lavia. But the fact that Partey is on the verge probably of leaving Arsenal just opens up a big opportunity for players like Romeo Lavia to sign Arsenal. Now, David Onsen said that he's a player Arsenal appreciate. He's a player that we look at as a long-term successor and replacement of Thomas Partey, and Arsenal will want to agree a deal with Southampton between maybe 30 to 40 million. We don't want to overspend on this deal, but he's a player that we want, and he's a player that we are surely going to try to sign. Southampton are asking for around 50 million. Of course, they were offered 50 million by Chelsea last August. They turned that down, so they feel there is potential there to go for a player to go for to become their record transfer sale. That is what Southampton are looking at. But this week, Arsenal have got a verbal agreement from the player and his agent. They've also got personal terms underway. They're in discussion. Arsenal could maybe agree personal terms as we get the Rice deal and Timber deal out of the way. We might focus on that deal and we could agree personal terms. Now, I don't have any confirmation that personal terms have been agreed, but I can confirm at this point in time that Arsenal are in discussions with the agent of Romeo Lavia and the player in regards personal terms. Now, Romano did report that Arsenal are advancing on this one. That information was turned down by David Onstein, who says at the moment the deal is not advanced and Romeo Lavia will not sign for Arsenal unless the Declan Rice deal is over. So that is in terms of incomings. In terms of outgoings, we've had a few rumors and a few deals, but I don't think Arsenal are actively working on sales at the moment. But the biggest deal in terms of sales is Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey has received a couple of offers from Saudi Arabia, one from Juventus and one from Monaco in Europe as well. I think Monaco will be bystanders. They will look at this deal from afar. Juventus are the main European contenders to take Thomas Partey, but much of the interest and much of what we're hearing is coming in from Saudi Arabia. Now, Al Khaleji are the club that are really interested in signing Thomas Partey, and it could be a deal that could be done probably by the end of this transfer window. There is no rush from Thomas Partey and Arsenal to clear out the player, but it is very concrete and it's very, very clear since last Sunday that Thomas Partey could be leaving Arsenal this summer. So we're waiting to see how much they're bidding. Arsenal are receiving offers in the region of 40 million euros. I still think it is very, very low. Arsenal are looking at not a record transfer sale, price, but they're looking for some good money. We are talking around 45 million pounds, not euros. Maybe 45 to 50 million pounds. Not euros. So that is where we are on the Thomas Partey deal. Arsenal this week also slapped a 35 million pound asking price on Florian Balogun after the player did confirming still in this week that he won't stay at Arsenal. He's not going to be here for a very long time. He would love to go somewhere else and become a starter. Arsenal have decided that they will sell the player for 35 million pounds. Now he's had a very good season last campaign. Arsenal feel this is the right time to sell. We will swallow the bullet. right? We will swallow the bullet on this one. We will bite the bullet on this one. And we are going to wait and see what happens out of that one. Another interesting name in terms of outgoings is Eddie Nketiah, that has been discussed a lot in this week. Eddie could be on his way out of Arsenal, which is a little bit, I think... I'll take that. I did take that news with a pinch of salt. He's a player that is loved by Mikel Arteta. He understands him. He understands the system. If we decide to sell him, probably, but I don't see him leave Arsenal anytime soon. But he's a player that Arsenal have also apparently put on the market. Okay, so in terms of my prediction of what's going to happen next week, I think just a simple preview. I think Arsenal will go in with the second bid for Jurrien Timber next week. Whether that will be accepted or not accepted, it remains to be seen. But that is very, very clear what we are going to try to do with Jurrien Timber. With the Declan Rice deal, a third bid will go in. And I really have a feeling that deal will be accepted. Manchester City, as long as in the next 7 days, Manchester City do not formalize their interest and Arsenal do go in with a third bid, West Ham will feel a little bit insecure and they will decide to sell to Arsenal rather than wait for offers that actually might not arrive. On the Romeo Lavia one, I think it's one where we will have to just keep an eye. I don't think it will develop a lot, but we will have to keep an eye on that one. But for Kai Havertz, we expect an announcement from Arsenal that Kai Havertz has signed for Arsenal. We expect media duty to be done and a few pictures of him holding that shirt number 29. So that is the weekly transfer roundup. That is where we are. That is what is confirmed, and that is the work we've done in the past 7 days. See you next Sunday.